Hi everyone, today I'm going to be discussing Legends by Valerie Coleman. This is a great piece that is suitable for performers starting from advanced middle school all the way through professionals. In this video, I will cover some warm-up exercises and practice tips that go with each movement of the piece. I also have a full repertoire guide that is available to download on my website for free. So if you'd like to check that out, I left the link in the description below. Let's get started.
The Lotus Lily is all about beauty, softness, but also strength. And in the Buddhist culture, the lotus flower symbolizes the ability to go through ugliness in life and yet remain pure. In our playing, we want to show all this beauty in the tone, of course, but then you also want to add some clarity with the articulation, those pointed staccatos, not short, not chopped, but just articulate. In contrast with these long flowing lines under the slur. Be sure to play the grace notes in relation to the tempo. So this tempo isn't too fast, so the grace notes don't have to be really tight to the beat, just gentle and graceful. Finally, I do suggest that you take a full breath before measure 35 so you can really sing out and just enjoy this beautiful musical moment. I would also suggest that you really keep the lips open with enough space in there to let the tone out so that you don't end up going sharp. This first exercise just gives you an opportunity to warm up in the key and work on getting into the low register with a great sound. Remember, we want beauty, but also strength. As you descend in the exercise, make sure that the volume stays the same, ideally. You might want to think about doing a crescendo as you go through here. Feel free to repeat each bar to see if you can get it just a little bit better each time. You will also need to spend a little bit extra attention on the D flats and Cs. Those notes tend to be out of tune on the flute, but also out of tone. So adjust the embouchure as you need to get a great sound. This arpeggio exercise is all about just creating a beautiful musical line and playing all the notes under the slur in one airstream or under one airstream. So you really want to pull the sound from note to note and just link them and make them as connected as possible. You can practice it at multiple different tempos so that you can really focus on these connections. The Dagda's heart movement has a little bit of a stern quality, perhaps leaning towards that father figure, king, something very serious for sure. But it also combines that with this sort of Irish jig, and you want to play this with a really strong tone that has a centered focus core to it, while creating a lilting style in the meter. So you would do that by pressing at the front of each beat, the big beats in this piece, and just having a little bit of emphasis on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The accents are also really fun in this piece, so make sure that you really do those with the tongue. I don't think that these are breath accents. They've got to be really clarified with the tongue. and just follow the articulation as marked. Finally, I would encourage you to have fun with that last note. Just popping that high B out, let it be what it's supposed to be. It is a loud exclamation point at the end of this piece. So speaking of that high B, this exercise is going to help you work on getting that note out with a good sound and some confidence. So what we're doing here is we're starting by finding some higher notes, okay, so starting on D here, and you can use harmonics to get up to these fermatas, and then you practice going back to that open sound that you found on the fermata. So on this F, I'm holding it, finding that sound, and then as I do the octaves, I'm trying to duplicate that to go back to the same position, the same airspeed, the same aperture size. Everything has to be the same as when you were playing it as a fermata. These next exercises are what I call groove exercises. They are designed to help you get comfortable with playing the Hemiola. So that's when the composer implies a different meter than what's actually written. So here she wrote in 6/8, but the music feels like it's in 3/4 on every other bar. This exercise simply breaks up that 16th note rhythm into two parts so that you can sort of examine it further. It's really important to play this with intense rhythmic accuracy. The style of this movement, I think, is pretty straightforward. Gaia is the personification of the earth and the great mother of all creation. So we want to play this with these really thick slurs, just super connected under the slur, and then making sure that we're not clipping the ends of any of the slurs. To really make sure that this never feels rushed at all. It's got to sit kind of on the back side of the beat and really just enjoy every note. This first exercise is obviously taken from the main theme of the piece. Again, you want to make sure that you've got nice connections between the slurred notes and then a gentle release on that last slurred note, not clipped and not short or accented, but just released upwards. The next exercise is about working on embouchure flexibility. So you can start by playing just a nice open C, and then you want to work to get these increasing intervals without cracking the lower note or coming back to a C that's not in the right place in terms of tone or pitch. pure joy. You want to just get into the festivities here in the piece and really bring out all the accents and just have fun with this kind of crazy Hemiola that's played throughout. So here I am just breaking down this piece into all the subdivisions. So the main melody is just played with all the eighth note subdivisions. I would encourage you to do this throughout the piece, just so that you really get a feel for what those eighth notes are doing. And then you can go back and forth between playing it and feeling the dotted quarter pulse. And then you can also try it with the quarter note pulse. Check out the score to see what the piano has. Basically, any time that the piano has quarter notes in the left hand in the bass clef, it's going to feel like 3/4.